Wow, what a story we have today. It all starts with the incredible power of Mother Nature. We're in Texas, a state known for its big skies and even bigger landscapes, but in the summer of 2022 something dramatic happened. The skies opened up, and the rain just didn't stop. It was a deluge of epic proportions, a flood that would change everything. Rivers like the Paluxy, usually calm and meandering, became raging torrents of water. They swelled over their banks, carrying immense force and energy. This wasn't just a rainstorm, it was a powerful event, a reminder that nature sculpts and reshapes everything. It moved with relentless power, churning up riverbeds and tearing at the banks. Imagine the force required to move giant boulders and uproot ancient trees. The floodwaters were a giant liquid bulldozer, scraping away years, decades, and even centuries of accumulated sediment. Dirt, mud, layers of silt were lifted and carried downstream. The landscape was rewritten in days. What was hidden beneath a blanket of earth was exposed to daylight after an incredibly long time. The sheer scale of this event was breathtaking. For the people living nearby, it was a time of concern, watching the river rise, awe, and a little bit of fear. Yet this destructive force became an act of excavation. The flood was an unplanned archaeological dig, water instead of shovels and brushes. It scoured the land, peeling back layers of time. The river wasn't just moving dirt, it was moving through history, stripping away the present to reveal a very, very distant past. Sometimes the most destructive forces lead to the most amazing discoveries. When the rain stopped and waters receded, a new world was left behind. Hidden beneath the surface, a secret from a lost world waited to be found, sealed away for over 100 million years. The flood was over, but the real adventure was just beginning. The Paluxy River had been completely transformed. As the Texas sun beat down, drying the drenched landscape, the true impact of the flood became clear. The Paluxy River, Dinosaur Valley State Park had been completely transformed. Powerful currents surged, acting like a giant pressure washer blasting away sediment. Mud layer, clay layer were wiped clean. Vast stretches of ancient limestone bedrock exposed and bare under a bright sky, a deep, geological exfoliation on a massive scale. Peeling back pages of a history book, each sediment layer a page of time. The exposed rock is Glen Rose Formation from the Cretaceous. The age of dinosaurs, ancient Texas landscapes. The river unintentionally did the work of thousands of paleontologists. A perfect excavation. Rushing water removed softer, younger layers, left hard, ancient rock intact. Drought made sediment dry and loose. The flood provided the force to wash it away. Drought plus deluge unlocked this prehistoric secret, revealing a sunlit surface after millions of years. This limestone was the floor of an ancient sea, a muddy shoreline where creatures once walked. Once the river settled down, park staff, volunteers, they walked along the newly carved banks, the exposed riverbed, documenting the changes. It was during one of these walks that something absolutely astonishing was spotted. There, embedded in the clean, flat limestone, were tracks. They were huge, three-toed footprints, each one as large as a dinner plate. It was a heart-stopping moment of pure discovery. Imagine being the first person to see these tracks after 113 million years. So, who were these incredible animals that left their mark on Texas? During the Cretaceous period, about 113 million years ago, this part of Texas was the coastline of a warm, shallow sea. The environment was lush and teeming with life, like a prehistoric version of the Florida Everglades. It was the perfect habitat for a wide variety of dinosaurs. The footprints discovered in the Paluxy River weren't all the same. Scientists identified two distinct track types. One set, the famous three-toed print, a large theropod. Theropods were bipedal carnivores. Think of Tyrannosaurus rex. But these tracks belong to an earlier, equally impressive relative. Apex predators, sharp teeth and powerful claws. Acrocanthosaurus atachensis, the prime suspect. What a name. It means high-spined lizard from Atoka County, tall spines on its vertebrae. The other set was very different. Massive, round, almost elephant-like footprints. They belonged to a sauropod, long-necked plant eaters. The largest animals to ever walk the earth, gentle giants in herds. The most likely candidate for these footprints is a dinosaur called Sauroposeidon proteles. The name means earthquake god lizard, and it's a fitting name for an animal of this magnitude. Both predator and herbivore tracks in the same place give us a glimpse into a complex food web. Finding these tracks together is like a prehistoric crime scene. Some park trackways show a theropod apparently hunting a sauropod. It's a dramatic story written in stone. The newly discovered tracks add another chapter. They confirm these two types shared the same environment at the same time, telling a story of their daily lives, their journeys, and their interactions on this ancient muddy flat. So why is finding a footprint so exciting? Why not just a bone? Well, dinosaur tracks or trace fossils give us a special kind of information that bones can't. A skeleton tells us what a dinosaur looked like, its size, its shape, its anatomy. But footprints tell us what a dinosaur did. They are a record of behavior, a snapshot of life in motion. They show us how these animals walked, how fast they moved, how they interacted with their environment. It's the difference between a photograph of a car and a video of that car driving down the road. Both are valuable, but the tracks show us the action. Paleontologists who specialize in footprints are like wildlife trackers, but their quarry has been extinct for millions of years. They are called ichnologists. The distance between the footprints, known as the stride length, can be used in a mathematical formula to estimate the dinosaur's speed. Were they walking slowly, strolling along the beach, or were they running, perhaps chasing prey or fleeing a predator? The depth of the print can tell us about the weight of the animal and the consistency of the ground it was walking on. Footprints also reveal social behavior. When multiple trackways are found together, running parallel to each other, it's strong evidence that the dinosaurs were moving in a group or a herd. Sometimes, smaller prints are found inside the larger trackways, which might indicate that the adults were protecting their young by keeping them in the middle of the herd. This is a level of detail about family life and social structure that we could never get from bones alone. It brings these ancient creatures to life in a way that nothing else can. Furthermore, tracks can tell us about the posture and biomechanics of dinosaurs. Every detail preserved in the stone is a clue that helps us reconstruct not just the animal, but the living, breathing creature in its natural habitat. The discovery of these incredible footprints immediately created a buzz, not just in the scientific community but among the local Texans and people around the world. The Friends of Dinosaur Valley State Park, a volunteer group that helps support the park, played a huge role in documenting and sharing the find. Their excitement was contagious. For the local community, it was a source of immense pride. This wasn't just a discovery in some faraway land, it was right in their backyard. It reinforced the park's name and its identity as a globally significant paleontological site. It was a reminder of the deep, rich history sleeping just beneath their feet. Of course, with great discovery comes great responsibility. The moment the tracks were found, the primary concern became how to protect them. These footprints had been preserved for 113 million years because they were buried and protected from the elements. Now, exposed to the sun, rain, and changing temperatures, they were vulnerable. Rock can crack when it heats and cools, and erosion can slowly wear away the details. The park staff and paleontologists knew they had a limited window to study and document the tracks. The immediate plan was to document everything as thoroughly as possible. Scientists and volunteers worked quickly, taking thousands of high-resolution photographs and using modern technology like drones and three-dimensional scanning to create a precise digital model of the entire trackway. This ensures that even if the physical tracks are damaged or reburied, a perfect digital replica will exist for future study. It's a modern approach to preserving an ancient discovery. At the same time, they gently cleaned the tracks, removing the remaining silt and debris to get the clearest possible view of every detail. Ultimately, the best way to preserve these tracks is to let the river bury them again. It sounds strange, but the same sediment that hid them for millions of years is also their best protection. The river gave us a gift, a temporary glimpse into the past. The flood revealed the secret, and in time, the river will take the secret back into its care, a treasure waiting to be rediscovered. Discoveries like the Texas dinosaur tracks are so much more than just a cool news story. They are fundamental to our understanding of the history of life on Earth. Each new find, whether it's a single bone or a 100-foot-long trackway, adds a new piece to the giant puzzle of our planet's past. These footprints provide a direct link to a world that is almost impossibly ancient and different from our own. They remind us that the world we live in is not static. It is constantly changing, and it has been home to creatures far stranger and more magnificent than we can possibly imagine. These finds ignite curiosity and inspire the next generation of scientists. When a child sees a picture of a real dinosaur footprint, it makes the past tangible and exciting. It's not just a drawing in a book anymore, it's real evidence. This can spark a lifelong passion for science, for history, and for the natural world. It encourages us to ask big questions. What was the world like then? What other secrets are hidden beneath our feet? How did these incredible animals live? Why did they disappear? These are the questions that drive scientific inquiry and push the boundaries of human knowledge. Furthermore, events like this highlight the incredible and often unpredictable relationship between natural forces and scientific discovery. We would have never seen these tracks without the powerful flood. It shows that the forces of nature, which can sometimes be destructive, are also forces of creation and revelation. It teaches us to look closely at the world around us after a major natural event because we never know what might be uncovered. It's a powerful lesson that our planet is a dynamic place, with stories to tell and secrets to reveal, often when we least expect it. In the end, the Texas dinosaur tracks are a profound reminder of our place in time. They connect us to a deep past, to a lost world of giants that roamed the very ground we walk on. They show us that we are just one small part of a much larger story, the epic story of life on Earth. And that, my friends, is a wild and wonderful adventure.